an important part of what you just said, that we often emphasize, but I think it often doesn't come across in what we say, is that there's a logic of egocentricity and sociocentricity. And that is, these are not just one-off kinds of interventions of selfishness into a situation or self-centered thinking into a situation. There's a logic. They cohere with one another. So if I contrast the child taking the larger piece of cake with the person who figures out the bill and just comes out ahead, part of the logic is that you don't engage in egocentric behavior when, as an adult, when it will be obvious to everyone that you've done that. So there's this internal barrier you put up for yourself, a kind of protective barrier, shielding yourself from these. And the best way to shield yourself is to engage in not deception of others, but self-deception, because if I deceive myself, I'm much better at deceiving others. It's just it's very curious and for me, a rich topic to think about.
Well, this bringing up the child, egocentricity and sociocentricity in the child is a good move, because when we study young children, and this can be with our own children, with children in our own family, children that we're around, any children, we can see so many examples of egocentricity. And the child typically is not in the beginning hiding that. There's no need to hide it. It's just all out there. It's my toy, it's my thing, and I get it, and I'll push you down if you don't do what I say. Of course, every child doesn't act that way. Some children manifest egocentricity by submitting to other children to get what they want. So the withdrawn child who is still functioning to get what he wants, let's just say, may do it by saying, how can I get him to give me what I want? Because this is all at the unconscious level. I'm not going to grab something. I'm not going to push someone down. But so we'll talk a little bit more about those patterns. But the point I'm making here is in connection to what you just said. As the child gets older, the child begins to use defense mechanisms then fairly early. And these help hide the egocentric thinking from himself or herself. And then as adults, we are mainly hiding our egocentricity. And that makes it harder to find the examples. So I remember playing tennis with someone, and this person, you call the shot in or out because you have no referee.
Right.
And so when you're just playing around with each other, you just, the rule is you call it the ball in or out on your side because you can see it better. And typically both people accept that, even though I might say, wait a minute, I'm not really sure. I mean, that looked into me. But if I'm on my side and it's on the other side. But I remember playing with someone once who just, I said, it's out. And he just went nuts. He just could not stand that. He just could not accept it. And it was showing I remember this happened so many years ago, but I still remember it so well because it was absurd. And of course, I could have been wrong. I was calling it on my side. It appeared out. He could have been right, but this was as it were, gentleman's or gentlewoman's agreement. But he just couldn't stand it. So this is common in human life, and it mattered not at all. It had no significance. This ball, this game, this match, this tennis we were playing.
It just reminds me of a book of humor I read way back, maybe in high school or something like that, called One-Upmanship by a British author with this kind of subtle kind of humor, and it's about how you undermine your opponent in tennis. So a ball gets hit right in the center of the court, and you say out, and you throw that other person off. Oh, you do this several times. It'll just be right in the middle, and you say out, and it throws the other person's game off entirely. Yes.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.